Earlier, Dr. Kay is a Wilson Center scholar and former director of the Rand Center for Middle East Public Policy, and she is with us this hour from Los Angeles. It is good to see you.
Good to see you.
Okay, so Raisi comes into office with sort of a bang, if you like. There's last week's drone attack on a commercial cargo ship, the Mercer Street. Here's what the U.S. Secretary of State had to say on that.
We've conducted a thorough review, and we're confident that Iran carried out this attack. It follows a pattern of similar attacks by Iran, including past incidents with explosive drones. There is no justification for this attack on a peaceful vessel, on a commercial mission, in international waters.
Then there was also the attempted hijacking of another commercial ship earlier this week. Here's the U.S. State Department on who they believe illegally boarded that ship.
We can confirm that personnel have left the Panama-flagged Asphalt Princess, this commercial vessel that was seized yesterday. We believe that these personnel were Iranian.
So Iran has denied the allegations, but assuming Iran is to blame, and there does seem to be form on the board, if you like, is there a message here that these attacks were carried out during the days leading up to the new president being sworn in? Is the timing significant?
Well, yeah, I don't think it's a complete coincidence. There's no question that this new hardline leadership in Iran is acting assertively, trying to send the message that if they will continue to face the pressure of sanctions, others will pay a price, and no doubt trying to gain leverage. But I think it's also important to note that there is a context to this. These attacks aren't coming out of a vacuum. They started actually back seriously in 2019 when Iran started attacking oil tankers. This is in the midst of maximum pressure following the U.S. withdrawal under President Trump from the nuclear deal. So I think, we saw this pattern, unfortunately, before, and with this new hardline leadership, I don't think we're going to see a reason to see it stop. In fact, I think we probably can expect more escalation along these lines.
Yeah, and the tanker, which was attacked by a drone, was Israeli-owned, and on Wednesday, Israel's defense minister said now is the time for deeds. Words are not enough. It is time for diplomatic, economic, and even military deeds. Otherwise, the attacks will continue. So does the President Raisi mean an open conflict with Israel is now more likely than it was during the time of the outgoing President Rouhani?
Well, the conflict between Israel and Iran has actually been ongoing. We call it a shadow war, but it hasn't really been much of a shadow war for a number of months at this point, if not years. There's more recognition on both sides of the ongoing conflict. The tit for tat has expanded, not just in terms of targeting on Iran's nuclear program. We saw sabotage attacks last summer, again in April. But we also see expanded confrontation in the maritime arena. We see that again this week. And this is going back and forth. And of course, the continuing Israeli campaign in Syria against Iranian aligned groups. So this is a conflict that has been ongoing. And it is extremely worrying that both sides may think they know where the red lines are, but they may be pushing too far. And especially with this new government in Iran, I think that's the big worry, that it just takes another civilian death, and we already saw 2 this past week. Extremely worrying. I think the Israelis with the new government are moving more toward hopefully a multilateral response, but they have shown in the past they are willing to act alone if they need to.
Well, Israel has responded just a few moments ago with airstrikes to another round of rocket fire coming from neighboring Lebanon. Israeli officials, I believe, Palestinians are responsible for this, not the Iran-backed militant group Hezbollah. Even so, does anything like this happen in Lebanon without approval from Hezbollah, without them knowing about it, and ultimately Iran?
Well, there's interesting timing in Lebanon as well. They are marking the anniversary of the horrific blast a year ago. There's a lot of protests within the country and calls for accountability. There's a horrible governance failure in that country. Lots of blame for Hezbollah's role in this in the government. So there are some arguments that this might be an attempt to distract from some of the domestic developments there. Hezbollah doesn't have complete control, but they have a good amount. So I think, that is it's an example of just another front in this ongoing conflict between Iran and its militia forces across the region. And frankly, Iran's neighbors are more worried about Iran's activities in these areas than they are even about the nuclear program.
Yeah, we didn't get time for that, but it seems like the nuclear deal
Yeah.
may not be dead in the water just yet because of the economic issues that Raisi campaigned on, but maybe another time we'll get to that. Dalia, thank you so much. Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you, John.
Cheers. Well, Adele,